All right, so we are going to go over our persuasive notes, specifically the analyzing of the use of rhetorical and logical fallacy in a text. So really quickly, a persuasive text is one in which the author tries to convince readers to think or act in a certain way. Authors may use exaggeration or an overstatement of the truth that is meant to get a reaction. When an author says something about one group or thing and implies, meaning hints, that it represents all of those people or things, she is making a categorical claim. That means you're lumping everybody into one big category. A stereotype is an idea about someone or something held in common by many people, which is often too simple and implies a prejudiced attitude. You want to stay away from stereotypes. Another form of persuasion is the ad hominem attack. This is aimed to sway people's opinions by attacking an opponent's character, a personal attack, rather than a topic. Most often you will see ad hominem argument used in media messages such as television commercials and print advertisements. Media messages may contain explicit or implicit messages. Explicit messages are clearly stated. An implicit message is hinted at but not clearly stated. So let's take a look at some examples. Think about persuasion, then circle the correct answer for each. If a politician claims his or her opponent is lazy in an advertisement, that politician is using an exaggeration, an attack, a stereotype, meaning they are saying that all the people in one group are a certain way, or a categorical claim, meaning grouping a lot of things together into one category. What do you think is the best answer? Well, if you chose ad hominem attack, then you would be correct. If you are saying your opponent is lazy in some way, then you are attacking their character. If an author writes a persuasive text claiming that a town park is entirely covered with trash and the description is not true, the author is using exaggeration, ad hominem attack, stereotype, or categorical claim. If you chose exaggeration, then you are correct. If you're saying the entire place is covered in trash when really there's maybe just a little bit of trash here and there, then you are over-exaggerating. Now let's take a look at our next example. Read the drama, then complete the activity. Setting: sounds of thunder are heard. A television reporter stands alone in an empty prairie with gray and white clouds above. Television reporter, in a concerned voice: we do not always know when storms will happen. Last year, 1 out of every 5 people affected by a major storm did not have adequate supplies such as water and batteries on hand. The town of San Eduardo, Texas was almost wiped off the map this year by a serious storm. Storms do not ask if you are ready or not. They strike without asking questions. That was my serious voice. Okay, so I see them talking about storms a lot, so I'm going to use my strategy of circling the words or ideas that repeat very often. So I see storms, so I'm going to write that off to the side. Now, what about storms? We do not always know when storms will happen, and then it's talking about people who are affected by storms, and then again I see they strike without asking questions. So not always knowing when storms will happen, they strike without asking questions. So storms may be without notice. So storms happen without notice. Okay, so let's take a look at our questions. Question 3. The third sentence in the report. So let's see, the third sentence in the report. We do not always know when storms happen. That's 1. Last year, 1 out of every 5 people affected by a major storm did not have adequate supplies. That's 2. Third sentence. The town of San Eduardo, Texas was almost wiped off the map by a serious storm. Okay, so that one exaggerates, gives supporting evidence, uses a stereotype, or makes a categorical claim. Well, it doesn't sound like they're putting a lot of things into one category, so I don't think that's my answer. It says almost wiped off the map. I mean, you can't really prove that. It's not a fact, so I'm going to get rid of that. I don't think that's just supporting anything. So we have exaggerates and uses a stereotype. So I'm going to go back up to my definitions and look at stereotype. A stereotype is an idea about someone or something held in common by many people. And an exaggeration is an overstatement of the truth. Okay, well, I think the one that is probably the best in this particular situation would probably be exaggerates. Which is the implicit question? How long did it take San Eduardo to recover? Are you ready for the storm? Why do storms happen? Okay, well, I see this vocabulary word implicit, so I'm going to go back up to the top. An implicit message is hinted at but not clearly stated. Okay, so something that they hinted at. I see they said about storms not knowing when storms are going to happen. And they strike without questions, and we annotated that storms happen without notice. So how long did it take San Eduardo to recover? Well, I don't think that was the main question that they were trying to put in my head, so I'm going to get rid of that. Are you ready for the storm, and why do storms happen? Well, it talks about people affected by the storm not having adequate supplies. They don't really say much about why the storm occurred in the first place. So I want to say that are you ready for the storm is my best answer.